The journey begins here on the wooden bench where raw grains of 18-karat gold wait to be transformed into a symbol of eternal love. Intense heat dances across the crucible, turning solid metal into a molten river that flows with a vibrant, glowing orange hue of pure potential. The liquid gold is poured with steady hands into the waiting mold, capturing the precise shape and diameter required for this specific custom commission. As the metal cools and hardens, the rough form of the ring emerges from the cast gray and unpolished, yet holding a heavy promise. A master jeweler picks up a heavy file, the rhythmic sound of metal against metal filling the quiet atelier as rough edges disappear slowly. We measure the inner circumference with a steel mandrel, ensuring the fit is absolutely perfect, sliding the band down to the exact marked line. Fine sandpaper is used to smooth the surface, erasing the microscopic lines left by the file, preparing the gold for its high gloss finish. Attention shifts to the loose diamond, a brilliant cut stone that catches the soft atelier light, scattering rainbows across the worn oak work table. Through the lens of a jeweler's loupe, we inspect the clarity and internal structure, confirming this gem is worthy of the band we crafted. Back at the bench, a tiny burr spins rapidly to carve a seat into the metal, creating a secure nest for the diamond's pavilion. The delicate prongs are gently pushed outward, opening the setting just enough to accept the stone without compromising the structural integrity of the metal. With holding tweezers, the diamond is lowered into place, a moment of high tension where the stone must sit level and true within the prongs. Gentle pressure is applied to the prongs, bending the precious metal over the diamond's girdle, locking it securely into its new permanent golden home. A cup burr rounds off the sharp tips of the prongs, ensuring they will never snag on clothing, making them smooth to the touch. We move to the polishing wheel, applying a specific compound that turns the dull surface into a mirror, revealing the true color of gold. The inside of the shank receives equal attention, a small felt buff spinning to ensure the part touching the skin feels like silk velvet. The ring is submerged in an ultrasonic bath where high-frequency sound waves vibrate away the polishing dust and compound from behind the setting. A burst of high-pressure steam blasts away the final residues, leaving the diamond blazing with an intense fire that illuminates the entire room. We tap the ring gently and listen a subtle test to ensure the stone is not loose, confirming the setting is tight and secure. Under the microscope, the symmetry is checked one last time, ensuring the facets of the diamond align perfectly with the geometry of the ring. A fine laser engraver marks the interior of the band, etching the maker's mark, and purity stamp a hidden signature of authentic craftsmanship. We inspect the tiny inscription with a loupe, ensuring the letters are crisp and deep, a permanent record of quality for generations to come. The design calls for a row of pave diamonds, so we carefully drill microscopic holes along the shank, creating a path of sparkling light. Using a beeswax tip, we pick up diamonds no larger than a grain of sand, placing them gently into the prepared seats on the band. The graver tool pushes tiny beads of gold over the edges of these small stones, holding them tight while mimicking the texture of fine fabric. We run a finger over the pave work to ensure no roughness remains, only a continuous smooth surface of cold metal and hard stone. A soft cotton wheel loaded with red rouge polish spins rapidly, bringing the gold to a fever pitch of shine, removing the faintest scratches. The ring returns to the soapy water, washing away the red residue, revealing a luster so deep it seems to reflect the entire room. We place the finished piece on a white tray, contrasting the warm gold against the neutral background to check for perfect symmetry and balance. The center diamond is examined for fingerprints or dust, wiped clean with a lint-free cloth until the facets snap with crisp white light return. Calipers measure the total width of the setting one final time, confirming it matches the technical drawings to within a fraction of a millimeter. Holding the ring feels substantial and heavy, the density of the gold providing a reassuring weight that speaks to the value of the materials used. We prepare the presentation box, brushing the velvet interior to remove any specks, creating a pristine stage for the ring's grand and final reveal. The box is crafted from dark wood and soft leather materials chosen to contrast with the brilliance of the diamond and the shine of gold. The certification papers are folded precisely, detailing the cut color clarity and carat weight, verifying the unique identity of the stone we just set. With gloved hands, we lift the ring from the tray and press it firmly into the slot in the box, centering it perfectly upright. The atelier lights hit the diamond one last time, sending a spray of spectral colors dancing against the dark velvet lining of the open box. The lid is lowered slowly, the hinge moving with a smooth resistance until it snaps shut with a satisfying solid click of final completion. A silk ribbon is measured and cut on the table, then tied around the box in a perfect bow, securing the treasure hidden within. The package sits on the wooden workbench, a finished masterpiece of engineering and art, waiting to leave the studio and begin its life elsewhere. We turn to the screen where a digital lattice comes to life, a wireframe map showing every curve and angle of a new design. The printer hums softly in the corner, building a polymer model layer by distinct micron layer, growing the physical shape from a pool of resin. We peel the prototype from the build plate, washing away the support structures to reveal a fragile blue wax replica of the final piece. A heated pen touches the wax, smoothing out the connection points and adding a tiny sprue that will serve as the channel for molten metal. We place the wax tree inside a steel flask and pour the liquid investment plaster, encapsulating the delicate model in a solid block of stone. Inside the kiln, the temperature rises slowly over 12 hours, melting the wax away completely and leaving behind a perfect negative space for the metal. This time we select platinum grain, a dense and pure white metal that requires intense temperatures to melt far higher than our standard yellow gold. Protective glasses shield our eyes as the centrifuge spins, flinging the heavy white metal into the vacuum of the hot flask with tremendous centrifugal force. Quenching the flask in water shatters the plaster investment, and the bright white platinum casting is revealed rough and covered in a hard white oxide. We cut the ring from the sprue with a saw, the platinum resisting the blade with its characteristic toughness, demanding patience and sharp, fresh tools. A heavy file bites into the platinum shank, shaping the profile into a comfort fit that will rest easily against the finger for daily wear. Platinum does not flake like gold. It displaces, so we burnish the surface, rubbing the metal to compress it and create a high mirror shine. We measure the gallery height, ensuring there is enough clearance for the diamond's culet so it does not touch the finger when worn on the hand. The jeweler selects the set of needle files to refine the intricate scrollwork beneath the basket, cleaning up areas that no machine could ever reach. We check the porosity under high magnification, looking for tiny air bubbles on the surface that must be hammered out to ensure a flawless finish. The polishing motor spins a stiff bristle brush, applying a gray cutting compound that smooths the platinum without rounding off the crisp, sharp geometric edges. We sort through a parcel of small accent diamonds, measuring each one with a digital gauge to find perfectly matched pairs for the side stones. The layout on the table shows the gradation of size, with the smallest stones on the outside leading up to the massive center stone setting. We drill seats into the platinum shoulders, the metal curling away in continuous ribbons rather than dust, showing the superior density of this noble material. Each small seat is inspected to ensure the depth is uniform, so the table of every accent diamond sits flush with the surface of the ring. We place the matched diamonds into the platinum shoulders, pushing the heavy metal over the stones with a significant amount of force required for platinum work. A straight edge is laid across the top of the ring to verify that the tables of all three stones align on a perfect horizontal plane. The center stone is an emerald cut, requiring a different approach as we gently fold the corner prongs over the beveled edges to protect the points. Unlike the brilliant round, this step-cut diamond demands perfect horizontal and vertical alignment, as the long facets reveal even the slightest error in the setting. Polishing platinum takes 3 times longer than gold, generating intense heat as we work through 4 different grades of abrasive paper to achieve the shine. We switch to a Japanese orange compound for the final luster, the wheel spinning faster now to create that signature cool liquid white finish of platinum. A steam jet cleans the open gallery work underneath the stones, blowing away the dark polishing grease that likes to hide in the deep, tight corners. We run a silk cloth over the prongs one by one, checking for any microscopic burrs that could catch on a sweater or scratch the skin. The finished platinum ring sits heavy in the palm, a density that feels permanent and indestructible, distinctly different from the lighter warmth of 18 karat gold. On a separate bench, a halo design is underway, requiring a circular plate of gold to be prepared with tiny seats for a dozen small diamonds. The cutter carves the metal bright, creating a reflective dish under each small stone that will amplify the light and make the diamonds appear larger. We set the surround stones first, working in a circle, ensuring the spacing is perfectly even so the halo looks like a continuous ring of light. Before the center stone arrives, the halo is pre-polished, as it will be impossible to reach the inner metal rim once the main diamond is seated. An oval diamond is chosen for this setting, its elongated shape creating a challenge for the jeweler to balance perfectly within the surrounding circle of light. We tap the basket with a rawhide mallet, adjusting the angle of the supports to ensure the oval stone sits level and low in the mounting. This design features double claw prongs, so we split the metal tip with a fine saw blade, creating 2 delicate talons to grip the stone corners. Each tiny talon is filed to a needle point, minimizing the amount of metal covering the stone while maintaining enough strength to hold it forever secure. We tighten the setting in diagonal pairs, applying pressure to top right, then bottom left, keeping the tension balanced across the entire face of the diamond. Viewing the ring from the side profile, we check that the culet of the diamond is visible, but protected, floating just above the bridge of the ring. A final blast of steam clears the assembly, and the halo erupts into a singular, blinding flash, the center stone and surround merging into one brilliance. Switching styles, we prepare a yellow gold bezel, a solid rim of metal that will encircle the entire perimeter of the round, brilliant diamond. We drop the stone into the metal cup, checking that the rim stands just high enough to cover the girdle, but not obscure the crown. A chasing hammer strikes a small punch tool, rhythmically moving metal inward, compressing the gold wall tightly against the stone without shattering the gem. The sound is different here, a dull thudding noise as we work our way around the circle, ensuring the metal moves evenly from all sides. A graver cuts away the excess gold from the inner edge of the bezel, creating a crisp, bright line that frames the diamond perfectly circular. We use a rubberized abrasive wheel to smooth the hammer marks on the bezel wall, blending the texture until it looks like a seamless ring. The ring is clamped into a heavy ball vise, which rotates freely, allowing us to maneuver the metal under the tip of a sharp graver. We push the steel blade forward, carving out a scroll pattern on the shank, peeling up a curl of gold that glitters on the bench. Fine parallel lines are cut inside the leaves of the pattern to add shading and depth, a technique that requires immense control of the hand. A millgrain wheel is rolled along the edges of the engraving, embossing a row of tiny beads that gives the ring a vintage antique appearance. We brush away the metal chips and inspect the engraving under the microscope, ensuring every cut flows smoothly into the next without any jagged stops. A dark patina solution is applied to the recessed areas of the engraving, turning the background black to make the gold pattern pop in relief. A light polish over the top removes the black from the high points, leaving the shadows dark and the scrollwork shining with a warm glow. For a white gold piece, we prepare the electroplating bath, a beaker of heated rhodium solution that will give the metal its final white surface. An electric current runs through the ring in a cleaning solution, stripping every atom of grease or oil to ensure the plating bonds perfectly chemical. Dipping the ring into the rhodium bubbles rise effervescently as the yellowish tint of the raw white gold transforms into a brilliant, chrome-like cool white. We rinse the ring immediately in distilled water to stop the chemical reaction, drying it with compressed air to prevent any water spots from forming. The quality control team takes the ring, now wearing white cotton gloves, to check the symmetry of the prongs and the security of the stones. They shake the ring near their ear, listening for the telltale rattle of a loose diamond, a sound that would send the piece back for repair. The finished piece is weighed on a precision scale, the gram weight recorded in the logbook to track the material loss during the fabrication process. Ideally, we divide the ring into exact segments, calculating the circumference to ensure the diamonds meet perfectly without a gap or overlap at the end. The drill bit pierces the gold band repeatedly, creating a continuous circle of seats that must remain perfectly parallel to allow the diamonds to line up. We cut square openings behind each seat, a process called azuring, which allows light to enter from behind and makes the ring easier to clean later. Every diamond is calipered to the 100th of a millimeter because one larger stone will throw off the spacing of the entire ring circuit completely. Setting the stones requires a steady rhythm, tightening one after another until the circle is closed and the beginning meets the end in a seamless loop. On a different custom piece, the client requested a raw texture, so we use a polished hammer to strike the surface, creating facets that catch light. Instead of a high polish, we sandblast the gold with fine glass beads, creating a soft frosted matte finish that feels modern and understated to touch. We assemble a two-tone ring, soldering a rose gold inner sleeve into a white gold outer band, fusing the two distinct metals into one solid object. We inspect the solder seam with a loupe, ensuring the line is invisible and the bond is strong enough to withstand decades of daily wear. A steel pusher is used to nudge the prongs one last time, ensuring the tips are perfectly round and resting gently on the crown facets. A threaded string dipped in rouge is pulled through the gallery holes, polishing the hard-to-reach areas between the prongs where the polishing wheel cannot fit. The ring goes into the ultrasonic tank one last time, the water vibrating furiously to shake loose any final debris from the drilling and setting process. We place the ring on a steam nozzle, blasting it dry instantly to prevent water spots, leaving the metal bone dry and the diamond squeaky clean. Under the macro lens, we look for fire, the dispersion of light that tells us the diamond is clean and the metal is polished to perfection. We handle the ring only by the edges, now wiping away our own fingerprints with a microfiber cloth to ensure the surface remains absolutely pristine. A small tag is attached to the band with a silk thread denoting the unique serial number that links this specific ring to its origin story. We select the appropriate box size, ensuring the ring slot is tight enough to hold the piece upright so it faces the recipient upon opening it. The gemological report is slipped into the leather folder, a crucial document that proves the natural origin and specific characteristics of the center diamond we set. Before closing the box, the jeweler takes one last look, a moment of quiet satisfaction, knowing that weeks of work have resulted in a flawless object. The workshop is quiet as we pack the order, the sounds of files and hammers replaced by the soft rustle of tissue paper and silk ribbon. The ring sits alone on the bench, a solitary spark of light against the dark wood, embodying hours of focus and generations of skill. We verify the hallmark stamps one last time, ensuring the purity of the metal is legally declared and permanently etched into the gold band. The velvet box is brushed clean of lint, creating a pristine, dark void that will make the diamond appear to float in empty space. Gently, we press the ring into the slot, feeling the resistance as the fabric grips the shank, holding it perfectly upright for the presentation. The lid closes with a soft dampened hinge action, snapping shut to conceal the fire within, keeping the secret safe until the right moment. We wrap the box in crisp, heavy paper, folding the corners with sharp geometric precision, securing the edges with a single piece of tape. A satin ribbon is selected to match the brand colors, tied swiftly into a symmetrical bow that sits perfectly centered on the wrapped package. We place the wrapped box into a structured carrier bag, the heavy cardstock reinforcing the sense of luxury and substance associated with the purchase. The warranty card is slipped into a side pocket, a promise of service that binds the workshop to this object for its entire lifetime. Dust covers the workbench, but the package is immaculate, a stark contrast between the messy reality of creation and the polished perfection of delivery. We wipe down the tools and hang the pliers back on the rack, the cycle of production ending as the studio lights dim down. This ring is no longer raw metal and loose carbon. It has become an artifact, a vessel ready to hold a specific human memory. The courier arrives to take the package, handling it with the care reserved for high-value items, starting the final leg of the journey. We watch the package leave the door, knowing that the next time this box is opened, it will likely change 2 lives forevermore. The bench is empty now, the gold dust swept away, leaving only the scratches on the wood to testify to the work just finished. A new order sheet is placed on the desk, a fresh design waiting to be pulled from the imagination into the world of solids. We pick up the melting crucible once again, preparing to turn the heat back up, ready to begin the ancient process all over again. Making a diamond ring is an act of permanence, forging something that will outlast the hands that made it and the hands that wear it. It is a silent witness to history, crafted from the earth's hardest materials, refined by human touch, and destined to shine for an eternity. The lights go out in the atelier, but somewhere in the world, a box is opening, and the diamond catches the light once more.